I'm probably wasting my time because I know you're terrified of my videos, let alone my book. Um, but I'm going to do this anyway. So Trump is a winner, wouldn't you say? Well, obviously he is. He won the election, which goes against the MAGA's claim that they've been crying for ever since Joe took office, that the 20 election was rigged. This is a direct debunking of that. So don't worry. I know you'll be way too embarrassed to reply. I don't know where this comes from. Why the fuck would I be embarrassed? Even if I was American and I did vote for Kamala, which I would not have, why would I be embarrassed? What is this? I don't understand why you'd say this. So it's okay if you run like a little girl. You sound like a fucking high school student. Some teenage kid. That's what you sound like here, Darren. What? Run away? Run from what? What? Winner is the key word. Politics is nothing but a superficial popularity contest. Donald is only a winner because half of America, including your ass, is pro-authoritarian. Now, I said this. You're trying to wiggle yourself out of this by saying that, I'm assuming you're authoritarian. Donald is only a winner. Well, wouldn't you be if you're saying Donald is a winner in which you obviously voted for him? Otherwise, why would you care? No, actually, well, okay. If being a winner means to be insulting and call names and to be an outright delusional asshole, asshole who chalks all opposition down to crying and butthurt. Yeah, this is to Frank. So, Frank is fucked off and now you're into this, and then only for the other guy to back you up because you're all a bunch of cowards. What the fuck? Okay. So you're ignoring what I'm saying about winner being the key word, and you're praising, well, I'm not really praising him, you're just saying you're confirming it. I never said he wasn't. I'm not one of you guys. I'm not saying, the election was rigged. No, that's not me. That's you. Even if it isn't you, it's many other people. And I didn't even, you guys carried on about it for 4 years. You can't now because it's been debunked, as I just said. Okay, so winner is the key word here. Okay, I already said that. I know you'll run away. Be way too embarrassed to reply, so it's okay. Okay, yeah, why would I be embarrassed? You're the one who dodges, many of you do. You really thought Trump as a winner would bother me? Why do I care who won the American election? I don't give a fuck about America. All non-right-wingers have sealed their own fucking fate. They relied on voting. Voting has become their religion, their little cult. Vote blue. As if it didn't do anything. Why? Because they're refusing to take into account that they have half the country to compete with in terms of this superficial popularity contest, as I would call it. As I did call it. What were their options? Well, I already uploaded a video about that, so something you would avoid with like the plague because you're a fucking dipshit. Anyway, go ahead and show me where I ever said I was pro-authoritarian. I didn't. But you're going on about Donald. You're confirming Donald is the winner, is he not? Which would suggest that you voted for him, which, as I said, Donald is authoritarian. I've criticized Donald as authoritarian, which would mean if you voted for him, you did so for his authoritarianism. He isn't? How is attacking, quote, Dork Brandon logical then? Wouldn't asking me how Donald is authoritarian be the way to go? How does Joe being authoritarian make Donald the opposite, as you claim? What does Joe even have to do with Donald? Do you think you're clever by saying that? Dork Brandon. And from what I remember, this whole thing came from a race thing. A race car thing. Well, you guys are all full of shit, so I don't know. Anyway, Dork Brandon. Obviously, there's a take on Dark Brandon, but it's still fucking stupid. And, well, rightly so, considering it came from you. Regime is not authoritarian for threatening to... Okay, so you're trying to claim that the vaccine is authoritarian. It's a regime threatening to make life difficult for Americans. So COVID isn't authoritarian? COVID isn't the problem? What is the government supposed to do? Do you even know what the point of the vaccine is? Do you? There are two reasons for the vaccine. One, to minimize the symptoms of the fucking pandemic, the virus. And two, to keep the hospitals free for other patients with other ailments, health issues. Those are the two. And you don't agree with that? You're dismissing, you're just shitting on that for the sake of American rights. You're calling it authoritarianism. You don't want people to symptom minimization and freeing hospitals. That's what you're saying here. On account of, you're make life difficult for Americans that they, you know. Well, the question would be, why don't you want, well, you say it's an experimental vaccine. Well, what do you guys have? You know, I mean, you guys are, what the fuck? I don't know. But Trump will be the authoritarian who states he won't mess with abortion. But Trump will be the authoritarian who states he won't mess. What does that mean? And what does abortion have to do with the vaccine? Did Donald not appoint pro-life judiciary? I know I've covered it in my book. I can't remember exactly what I said because nobody discussed it with me, but I remember that something like that happening. Do you comprehend how local you sound? No, because you haven't said anything. Dork Brandon would be local if you ask me. Experimental vaccine would be local if you ask me. And making life difficult for Americans on account of that experimental vaccine, quote unquote, would be local for me. And then also to say that to jump from that to abortion would also be local. So, or is repeating the left talking point lines. I don't use left talking points. I ask questions. For example, well, I said this, and then why would I be embarrassed? No, you're the one who dodges. You really thought, yeah. Psychological questions. I also ask breakdown questions for shit, like I've just said here. How is Dork Brandon sensible and mature and rational? I just asked you if you're against people taking the vaccine for the purposes of minimizing the symptoms if they get infected and to keep them out of the hospital for other people with other health issues. You're against all those? Is that a left-wing talking point? And even if it is, how is it wrong? What, MAGA's talking points are valid? Their buzzwords are valid? Communism, pedophiles, what? Really? When pointing out that Cheeto and Chief, huh? Some more maturity there. But we'll be back in and score the popular vote to boot. What? Do you comprehend how local you sound, or is repeating the left talking lines your go-to defense when pointing out that... Where the fuck are you... Cheeto in chief. I don't even know what that means. I'm not left wing, and I'm also not American. I don't vote. Even if I was American, I wouldn't bother to vote because I know so many people like you. You know, politicians aren't even the problem. You people are. And Donald Trump winning is a direct testament to just how fucked up America is. And you're chasing me down for the word authoritarian because you know you are. Both of you. Or all three of you, actually. Anyway. What the okay, what, you've changed the subject to common MAGA strong, yeah. So you call me authoritarian. You're so afraid of that word, aren't you? Because you know I'm right. And there you go with the Dork Brandon shit again. Thinking that's somehow clever. They're illegal? How are they illegal? And what does MAGA have to offer? The, what the fuck? I can't. The, ivermectin and the other stuff. I'd have to look it up again, but I don't feel like it. So you call me authoritarian but disregard the illegal vaccine mandates. Well, does the pandemic just let you choose to become affected? And are you willing to go get the vaccine? How is the government supposed to deal with the... Okay, so how is the government supposed to deal with you rebels? You guys who refuse to get the vaccine because Dork Brandon is in office, as you say. Keep the rent ongoing and for student loan. What the fuck? So you call me authoritarian but disregard the illegal vaccine mandates and Dork Brandon attempt to keep the rent moratorium. Okay, what is a moratorium? A temporary prohibition of an activity. So you're saying a rent moratorium is authoritarianism? How is that authoritarianism? You're against people not having, or... What? Student loans to be paid off by the taxpayer. Why are you against that? How is that authoritarianism? What? My side? What side? Of course, I've already taken... Okay, I didn't disregard it. You're the one choosing to dodge. So you don't answer my questions. No, you called Trump supporters pro-authoritarian and you are attempting to say I'm changing the subject. You are. You're all over the place. What? I am calling you out on that BS because Trump made his stance clear on what he stands for. No, he doesn't. No, he didn't. Policies white, while headboard Harris. There you go again with the name calling. I mean, what is that? Trump had, what was it? It's only been repeated 1,000 times. He has concepts of plans. I remember reading about it from a book. They tried to come up with a healthcare plan, but they scrapped it for some reason. I forget why. Like when she says she made her stance clear that her debate against Pence over fracking. So what are you trying to ask here? You call me authoritarian but disregard the illegal vaccine mandates. Okay, so you're bringing the vaccine mandates up. Oh, fuck. Okay. Winner is the key word. Politics is nothing but superficial popularity contest. What is... Well, okay, I said authoritarianism, but the main context here, the original context, is winner being a key word. Politics is nothing but a superficial popularity contest. Donald is only a winner because half Americans, including your ass, is pro-authoritarian. So that's what you're trying to pick on. Okay, if you're not authoritarian, then what the fuck are you, and what the fuck is Donald? Never mind what Joe Biden did, or Kamala. And going all the way back again, Trump is a winner, wouldn't you say? Don't worry. He's insulting me. What the fuck do I care who wins the presidency over there? And what was the original context? If being a winner means to be insulting and call names and be an outright delusional asshole who chalks all opposition down to being, I'm content not being a winner. Or being a winner simply made you psychotic and I'm not saying I'm bothered by such common nonsense, only that you have nothing. So this whole context went from the original context is winner, and I always have been, from Frank. And somehow you guys, because you guys are all butthurt by the term authoritarianism, or authoritarian, you guys are all whining about that now, trying so hard to defend yourself from that term. Because you clearly know you are. And you clearly know Donald is. And then there's also this. Somehow this is just... Frank is just, what is this? This is supposed to piss me off? Really? You're the ones crying about the authoritarian term, not me. Trying to whine that, Donald's the winner! So fuck you. And you got all this name calling. Dork Brandon. What is all this shit? All this, Frank, as for the AA thing, Frank just refuses to address what I said about that, which I can't remember at this point because it was so long ago, and all he's done is call me crying and butthurt and chimp and everything else. Funny you guys pick on me about the authoritarian word, but you don't call him out for calling... Well, you guys are calling me names too, so what the fuck? See? That's all he has. So, you guys are on your own.